It's so obvious that the world our kids are growing up in is different from the world we knew. You can see and tell that times are changing, the world is evolving, things are happening so fast. Technology is taking over the world, artificial intelligence and all that. Even friendships are changing more than ever. So, how do we make sure our kids don't just survive, but actually thrive in this ever-changing world, in this AI generation, in this tech world? How do we get them to fit in, like to survive, to do well, to build a good life for themselves? So here are 10 skills every child needs for 2026 and beyond. First is emotional intelligence. Once a child is able to name, manage and express their emotions, trust me, they will be able to handle whatever life throws at them. Know that feelings aren't too much, okay? So once a child is able to express all of these things, trust me, that's a powerhouse. And the next one is critical thinking. Trust me, there is a lot of information out there already. I mean, kids these days are being exposed to a lot of things. But when they are able to think critically, trust me, they won't fall for just anything they see on the internet or wherever they find themselves. So critical thinking is very important. And then this third point, adaptability. Like we all know, the world is changing so fast. So for our kids not to be left behind, they need to be able to adapt to wherever situation or wherever they find themselves. But once they can pivot without melting in a puddle, they are winning. So they need to be able to adapt in every situation. The quicker they can adapt, the better for them. So adaptability is very, very important. And then we want to talk about digital literacy. Like we all know, AI is taking over the world. Like artificial intelligence is the in thing now. Everybody wants to know how to use AI. A lot is going on, especially in advanced countries. I mean, all over the world, a lot is happening. So digital literacy is very important and is one of the skills your child needs to have. So if you don't know, there are companies now who train AI, even though they're of the opinion that AI has not come to replace human, but to enhance, which obviously you can never tell what will happen in the next 20 or let's say 10 years to come. So your child does not just need to know how to use the computer, but also needs to understand it. They should be able to differentiate between what is real, what is AI, what is safe, and what to scroll away. That way they won't just believe whatever they see on the internet. So understanding the internet is very important. And next up is creativity. Trust me, being creative now is the new currency. Robots can repeat, but kids can imagine. So if you don't get it, forget about it. Next up is communication. I mean, I've talked about this before. Your kids should be able to speak up. Like they should be able to speak up for themselves, say when something is wrong or they don't feel comfortable with whatever is going on around them, and being able to express themselves without yelling. And also communication is very, very important. If your child knows how to speak up or knows how to communicate, that's gold. And then we want to talk about problem solving. Like we all know, life is one giant puzzle. So teaching your child to take a breath and figure out things would build a lifelong confidence in them. This skill I want to talk about is something people hardly talk about, and it is collaboration. What is so common is competition. People just want to compete. People just look at themselves and they just want to compete with one another. But I tell you, people who compete don't go far. If you have to compete, it should be within yourself, like be in competition with yourself, not with other people. You keep building yourself every day. You work towards that goal and achieve that goal. This is you competing with yourself, making sure you're adding values to yourself every single day. You're learning new skills and all. But when you want to work with people, competition shouldn't be your aim. You need to collaborate and not compete. And this is a skill your child should have in 2026 and beyond. Trust me, teamwork is everything now. And kids who can negotiate, share, work with other people, go far in life. And then you have resilience. Like you just can't give up. Even when you fail, you pick yourself up and try again. So they have to be resilient. You need to tell them that failure is not the end. So resilience is something you need to encourage in your child. And lastly is self-awareness. In fact, this should have been my first point, but then I left it for the last. So if you made it to this point, thank you so much. Self-awareness is very important and it's something your kids need to have. They are able to know their strengths, their struggles, knowing what brings them joy, it helps them make choices that actually feel right. But let me tell you one thing. For your child to be able to achieve these skills, you need to be able to model it to them, because these things are not in textbooks. They don't teach them these things in school. They learn from us, the meltdowns, the wins, and every moment, every single moment. So here is to raising kids who aren't just ready for the future, but are ready to shape it. So see you in my next video. Bye!